The name of our podcast is Human Frequency.
All right.
Because we are humans and we have a pretty good frequency we've been riding for a little while.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think it sounds great.
Okay. That's Philip.
Rebecca. This is... Go ahead.
You go.
No, you go ahead. No, All right. This is the Human Frequency Podcast. I'm Philip. That's Rebecca. And it's our first one. So we decided we're going to try to open every podcast with about 2 or 3 news headlines of the day. What's going on in the country? Oh, yes. President Trump has deployed over 700 Marines to combat the riots in LA. This has spread to nationwide immigration-supported protest. And Israel has decided to expand its war in the Middle East by attacking the nuclear facilities in Iran. And what else is happening in the world today? I think that's it. Everything else is just chicken soup.
Oh, but except for the guys who stole the golden toilet that's named America from Winston Churchill's palace got some time in prison.
They should get time in prison. Okay, and that's our wrap-up of our news for the day.
All right, so we're going to get into the topics. So the way we decided to do our topics is to ask ourselves a question and give you an answer. So here's the first question.
Okay, we will have some very lively discussions about these questions. So
yeah, and they could cover anything from like life and relationships and philosophy and all kinds of things, weird stuff, all kinds of things. We just want to, keep it light and, talk about everything.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, so I'm going to ask you the question, okay? All right, so the first question is, for our first podcast, is happiness a choice or a result?
Oh, that is a good one. My view is it's both a choice and a result. But happiness is also dependent on your environment in which you are raised and the environment in which you live. Now, naturally, as humans, we get depressed sometimes given the situation we are in. But while in some cases depression can be a choice, in other cases it is unavoidable where it becomes a medical issue. But in minor cases where we get to choose whether we are sad or happy, it's always a good choice to choose to be happy if you can do that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think happiness is relative to each person and each situation and all the circumstances and like all of the elements that make up life can make up happiness. Not one thing it's like health. Not one thing is going to create that happiness. It's kind of like a grouping of things that will make you happy, and it's always a work in progress.
Yeah.
I don't think you're ever like fully there, right? Because if you were fully happy, then you wouldn't be experiencing other emotions.
Right.
And so.
Right. And for everyone, happiness is something different.
Yeah.
Like what's happiness for you may not be happiness for me.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I believe happiness is somewhat relative. Mm-hmm. For some people, happiness is gained from just helping people. For some people, happiness is just simply joy. For others, happiness is accomplishing a hard-fought goal. For some folks, it may simply be watching someone else succeed. Just watching someone else smile, having conquered a very difficult challenge. So whatever is your definition of happiness, if it works for you, great.
Yeah.
But you should be mindful that what you think is happiness or what you view as happiness may not be the same as the other person. And in very rare cases, it's this lack of open mindedness as to how happiness should be defined that leads us to jugular discussions, such as the one we are having here.
Well,
Because,
okay, let's give an example. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, okay, go ahead.
You go.
No, go
No, I
ahead.
was just gonna say you fly wealthy people. You've flown wealthy people for a long time, and to your point, I think a lot of the 99% of our world and likely our country think that that their happiness lies in their wealth.
Right. Uh-huh.
And from what I've heard you say, that's like not even the truth,
No.
especially as they get older, because when they get older, they're not thinking as much. Granted, they don't have to think about their wealth because they're wealthy, right? So
Right,
it's just
right.
like,
That's true. Yes, they are.
But the things that they can do with that wealth will probably bring them happiness, like if they're traveling with family and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the actual wealth itself isn't what's making them happy. It's the ability to have opportunities because of that wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And in all reality, the things that are making them happy is hanging out with their family. It is, doing those things. And they say that, right? Like,
Yes.
okay, we wish we just had spent more time with our family,
Yes.
and not focus so much on wealth,
Yeah. And more to Rebecca's point is that, as she has so eloquently described, happiness don't bring you, no, money don't bring you happiness. Yet there is this misconception among the working class or the working poor that money equals happiness, and that is so not true.
Yeah.
This is, I'm sure you can hear our dog Leela just running around here, just
I keep
tearing
making
up
that
here.
face because she's driving me crazy. She's like walking back and forth. She'll lay right here and pant and pant and pant and pant. Leela, go lay down. Chill out, girl. It's hot. It's warm up here for her.
It's probably warm too.
But she wants to be close to us.
She's probably warm
also.
too.
So anyway, if I make those funny faces, it's because I'm annoyed that she just won't settle. So,
Okay.
Anyway.
So in the comment section below, you can let us know what's your definition of happiness.
Yeah.
Is it helping someone? Is it seeing someone succeed? Is it being full of joy? Is it being full of natural happiness? Or is it just simply accomplishing a task, like just getting up in the morning?
Yeah.
There are some folks who are not able to do that. And just the fact that those of us who are healthy have the ability to wake up every single morning, that alone should bring us joy.
That's a really good point.
Which would equals happiness.
Yeah, because I work with a lot of people who are not healthy, and sometimes not because of their own doing most of the time. Like people with autoimmune conditions and things like that. And oftentimes I think we put so much stock and value in getting this huge productive day and got all this stuff on your plate, and even the word busy, how was your day? Oh, it was busy, I got a lot done. But sometimes when people don't have the ability to even be productive or get up in the morning or even take a shower or go to the grocery store, those little small wins that are little to one person could be massive for someone else and create so much more happiness for them. Like somebody who has autoimmune, just getting out and maybe going to the park or going, even just getting up, like you said, can create happiness, I think. It's that kind of scale.
Yes. And there are some people who, I was speaking to my sister yesterday, and I said to her, to smile, it takes a small amount of muscles, but to frown your face and look unhappy takes every facial muscle you have there. And happiness tends to reduce stress. So whenever we can, we try our best to be happy, even when things are looking bad.
Yeah, totally.
Even when things are down. We're not saying it is easy. We're not saying we are experts at by any means. But we are saying if happiness is a choice, we should always choose to be happy when we're in a situation that allow us to make that choice.
Yeah, I think it's definitely both.
Yeah.
It can be a choice or like a result,
Yeah.
you know? So, yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
Next
Oh, we're
question.
moving on to another one. Okay, so next question is hold the phone, hold the phone. It is, oh, this is a good one.
Oh.
Do you believe that people are inherently good?
Do I believe that people are inherently good? Yes and no. And I because people has this natural desire for self preservation,
Right.
even if they want to be good.
Yeah.
And whenever someone is in a situation where if if they act a certain way, it benefits them, people almost always will do that, even if they know that doing so will affect other people. And the reason for this is self preservation.
Survival of the fittest, baby.
Right. And there is also the issue of group think. If you are in a group, people tend to act as one. So if collectively the group decides to do the right thing, then everyone does the right thing as a group. But if you separate one individual from that group and they have a choice whether to do the right thing or the wrong thing, it's probably going to depend on whether or not it benefits them. If it benefits them to do the right thing, they will do the right thing. If it benefits them to do the wrong thing, they will do the wrong thing. But generally, I like to think that people are eager to do the right thing.
Yeah.
But that's not what I've experienced. Even me, I sometimes struggle with always doing the right thing because there is a drawback to being like that. When you are when you're obsessed with doing the right thing, there is a chance that people will see you as weak. They may see you as a pushover, like, oh, he or she is always gonna do the right thing, so I will put them in a situation where I will force them to do a particular thing that will benefit me, and that's a real risk that people have to consider when they choose to do the right thing. But I think doing the right thing is always best, and I would like to believe that people will always do the right thing, even when it costs them everything. And that's one of my slogan, one of my life's principles is even if doing the right thing will cost you everything, you should always do the right thing because in the end it pays off. That's my take on it. What about you?
Okay. Well, I would also like to believe that people are inherently good, but I think that it's, I don't think that's true.
Okay.
And I say that because I think there are people out there who, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of who it might hurt, regardless of what the outcome will be, will still do always what benefits them. Okay. And I think that that's become more like prevalent in today's society, especially in America, because of people feel currently more than any time that I've seen in my lifetime emboldened to be able to do what they want to do regardless of who it hurts.
Yes,
And
that is true.
I think that those are the people that you have to really sit back and kind of go, are you inherently good? Because if you were inherently good, you wouldn't be doing the things that only benefit you. You would be doing the things that benefit the group, that benefit the community, you know? And there seems to be quite a lot of people these days who are totally fine with doing something that is a risk to someone else's happiness and someone else's livelihood and someone else's joy, even if you know it means doing something that isn't really the right thing, you know.
Okay.
And it sucks to say that, but I think it's become even more visual. Like, we can see that a little bit more these days, you know. People don't just, they're not just good anymore, you know.
Right.
We can see the good and we can be the good, but that's a choice, you know, and not everybody chooses to be good. And I think the ones who choose not to be, not to just be good to other people, those are the people you have to go like, well, inherently,
Right.
your bad side might be bigger than, or more, you know, like, hold more value than your good side.
Okay, those are the type of people who I would classify as conveniently or strategically good.
Yeah.
Because it benefits them to be that way. And as Rebecca just said, I fly a lot of wealthy people. It's part of my job. And wealthy people are conveniently and strategically good. Whenever whenever it benefits them to act in a principled, ethical, or moral way, they will do that. The moment those virtuous behavior get in the way of them making money, they abandon it and go with whatever is necessary under the circumstances to make that money.
Do you think that's all wealthy people, though?
I don't
I mean,
know. That's
pretty broad generalization,
yes,
right?
yes, and it's all wealthy people depending on their age and where they are in their career.
And maybe where they got their money.
Right.
Because if it's old money, those people treat our kind
Yes.
a lot differently than new money might treat our kind, you know. I say our kind because we're just peasants.
When they are young and now building their wealth or through their company, they are less likely to be motivated to do good or to be good, because doing that may inhibit their ability to build their company faster. As such, they tend to be what I characterize as sharks. Which means they don't have a lot of ethical principles. They toss it out the window because it is an impediment to what they want to do. It gets in the way of their goals.
So who would you say, like, that people would know is a really good example of that?
Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg.
Wait, go back. Let's talk about Elon Musk for a second.
Okay. Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg are one and the same. Though they appear to be different, they are the same. They are chameleons. Whatever the circumstances is and whatever they need to become to match the circumstance, they become that. And once their situation has changed, then they become something else. And you can see that at Facebook. When a specific political party was in power, Facebook was more towards human rights and gay rights and all this stuff. And then once political atmosphere changed, then they start with the wokeness is wrong, DEI is bad. That's just one good example of where a wealthy person at a young age who is building their company switches their principles to match with wherever the river is flowing.
So does that because of, like, because if you think about intention, like, I always really liked Elon Musk because the companies that he was making or that he was building and starting were companies that had good intentions. They really did have like, and still, because I think people who work at, at SpaceX and who work at Tesla and things like that are all still in that mindset of we're doing something good, right? But then, like you said, there's this kind of shift. I'm not really sure that Mark Zuckerberg, his like whole, I know it was maybe to connect people. So his intention was like, yeah, okay, it's okay, you're cool, whatever. But he, but Elon Musk, like, it's kind of like shot to the heart, because it's like, I thought he was such a good guy. I was like, gosh, this guy is awesome. I used to love him, remember? Where I was like, wow, he's trying to do good by the world. He's trying to create things that are going to change our world for the better,
Yes.
And then he went off the rails. Like he just left turn. That's right. Right turn. And I kind of don't really understand that. So that makes me question, like you're saying, like, did the wealth kind of make him turn into somebody that is no longer a good person, or were those intentions not really pure? They were money driven, but he could see that I can ride these intentional waves of what people think are good things for as long as I need to and get my government contracts. And then, I'm a bad person after that kind of thing,
Yeah, that's possible. My view is I believe initially Musk did have a genuine plan. He did believe in the planet, and he did believe he do want to go to Mars. He wholeheartedly believed in those things initially. But then the pandemic happened, and he ran into some issues with the state of California, and that really really annoyed him.
Yeah.
That's when he made the switch.
Yeah.
So once again, here is someone changing their principles because of the change in circumstance. And he changed it because having one set of principles inconvenienced what he wanted to do.
Okay.
So he switched on the other side to a set of principles and a set of behavior that more align with what he wants to do, which is go fast, break things, and try to make a difference.
Do you think that's because of his shareholders, though? Like he had people to please,
No. Someone like Elon Musk is that type of individual that don't necessarily care about the opinion of other people.
I don't know about
Unless
opinion. I don't.
unless it becomes a situation where it affects what he's trying to do, then he cares
That's
about
what I'm saying.
people.
Is like right now, like he went off the rails, right? And then he gets this from the shareholders going like, "Hey, this is affecting our money,"
Yes.
right? So it's like, the decisions. Maybe it's the decisions where the decisions are rooted.
Okay.
Like that's how you tell if somebody's actually good.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, on this question, are people inherently good? I believe we can conclude, at least for me, that people are strategically and situationally good.
That's a good way to
If
put it.
if it benefits them,
Yeah.
they will be good. If they're in a group, they will normally go with the cohesive behavior or choice of that group. If they are acting as an individual, more often than not, they will abandon their principles to do that wrong thing if it's beneficial to them to do it.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Okay, what's the next question?
What's a belief you've outgrown?
Why don't you go first on this one?
Because I don't have an answer. Ooh, a belief I've outgrown. Well, I know what you wish that the belief that I would outgrown is that we didn't actually go to the moon. Because you're probably so tired of hearing about it. A belief that I've outgrown. That parenting is hard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, did you outgrow it in the fact that you thought it was hard, or is it harder than you expected?
No, I thought it was really hard. And don't get me wrong, I do think that parenting has its challenges. And I also have a different view because I didn't have kids of my own, and so I met our girls when they were really young, and I helped to parent them, as a stepmom. But it also could do with the fact that our kids are now grown up, and so at my current age, I'm like, well, this isn't hard. It's fun, because it's like a lot of joking and it's a lot of, but still parenting. We're still guiding. We're still doing all the things that we need to do as parents to, make sure that our children feel supported and safe and, that they're, happy and healthy. But I think I always thought it was like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like on social media, I know it's challenging. Please don't get me wrong. I know it's challenging. But I feel like on social media, like they make it look like it's like the worst job in the world and like that it's so hard. And I can't believe, this is what it's like to parent this being. And it's like, okay, well, first of all, you have the blessing of even having a being. So shut your trap. And secondly, like, I think it's kind of all in how you approach it. And what you learn about yourself and how, like, I learned a lot about parenting from the way that I was parented, and I learned a lot about parenting from you, because you're really good at it. And so, I don't know. It's just something that I don't think it's hard. I think it's challenging at times, but for me, the joy and the excitement totally outweighs the challenges, in my opinion.
Okay.
So that would be my answer.
Okay. I'm not going to directly respond to your answer because I do believe we have a whole podcast coming up on
No, totally.
on
Fine.
on parenting.
Yeah, probably more than one actually.
I don't have one thing that have changed as I've aged. I have two.
Okay.
One is how I think about Christ, and the second is how I think about change.
Okay.
And I used to think that people change. Now I don't, because I believe that we are all born with the ability to do the same thing, anything, whatever we want. Those genes are within us, and you and I have talked about this before. What unlocks those genes are the situations and the circumstances in which we find ourselves.
For sure.
And you can identify this really, really easy. If you've ever been around someone for a long time, or you have a particular perception about someone, and then they do something, and you would always say, wow, I didn't know you can do that. Or wow, I didn't know you have that in you. The reason why we are surprised and why we say these things is because the circumstances or the situation in which that person find or found themselves was what was necessary to unlock that hidden ability.
Yeah.
When I was in the military, I saw this too. People would join the military and think that they just can't survive in a very structured environment, having come from probably a broken home. And you put them in that environment, and it allows that structure, that gene that wants direction to come alive, and they survive and they love the military. They're there for like 20 years. People don't change. Circumstances and situations unlock that which is already there. And we get surprised by it every single time.
I like that one. That's a really good one because I think that's a lesson probably most people learn throughout life. That's something that, not lesson, but that's a belief that most people change over a time, as they have time with relationships and stuff like that. They realize like, this person, that's why people say this person isn't who I thought they were.
Because we have that incorrect perception
Yeah.
of who that person is.
Because those challenging circumstances haven't hit them yet.
Right. And the perception is based on our expectations
Right.
or our desire of what we are looking for or what we are hoping for in that person.
Yeah.
And when we don't see it, or when we like, wow, you did that, you just blew my mind. I didn't know you can do that. And even the person themselves would be like, I have no idea how I just do that, but I just did it.
Yeah.
So if you have the gene to be amazing, whenever you are placed in a challenging situation, you will rise to that occasion because that situation will unlock those genes for you.
And by your definition, that means that everybody has the ability to be
Yes.
amazing.
Everybody has the ability to be amazing.
Okay, now go to your first one.
The second one I have, the
Second one.
first one was Christ. When I was growing up, the way they taught us about Christ was to instill fear in us.
Fear of God.
Fear of God. The fear of Christ. You're going to go to hell. You're going to blah, blah, blah. And as I've gotten older, I realized how wrong they were. Because as a parent, I asked myself, why would I want my kids to fear me? Why would I want them, like, that doesn't make sense. So why would Christ wants us to fear? And I say her, not him. There's a whole podcast on why I do that
Yeah.
too.
We'll figure that part out.
And I've also learned at the end of the day, while she may give me the strength and the knowledge to get something done, the physical work is still up to me.
Right.
I still have
Yeah.
to go out there and do the work. And I can pray 10, 12 times a day. At the end of the day, the work, the responsibility, the gracefulness in doing the genuine work is still up to me. We still have to go there and do the work.
So you were taught that you should fear.
Yes.
So how did that change? Like, what changed that? Or how did that change?
It made no sense.
Oh.
As I've said, it didn't make sense to me that to get my kids or our kids to listen to us, that I should instill fear in them.
Yeah.
And since I look at her as a
Oh, I see. So you
parental
relate the
figure,
two.
you
Okay.
relate the 2 and it just didn't make sense to me. It naturally made no sense.
So it makes more sense that this being is there to facilitate your growth
Yes.
and your productivity, your opportunities that are presented, and all of those things.
Right.
And to just, put that in front of you, put those things in front of you, and then you get to decide what to do with them,
Yes.
how to do it,
Yeah.
and you have to take the actions
Yes.
to make it happen.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You get to figure it out.
Don't fear God.
She's there to help, not to chastise and judge.
Yeah.
All right.
Right on. Well, that was pretty
this,
good.
This was pretty good. I
Yeah.
think our first,
first time.
podcast went really, really well. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you guys have any comments, criticism, or suggestion
Yeah.
about anything we have discussed, please, please, please leave it in the comments section below. And between the both of us, we will answer you guys back as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and we'll also include the questions in our description, just so you can have kind of easy reference. If you'd like to answer the questions in the comments too, that would be really cool. We'd love to hear your thoughts on all of the things that we're going to be talking about too. So,
All right.
yeah.
Until next week, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. We hope it was, or it will be, enjoyable for you as it was for us in making it.
Yeah, come along for the ride.
All right. Peace.
High five.